Yeah.
All right.
Good.
Yeah. Perfect ending.
Yada. It did end right whenever.
Hey, man.
Right whenever.
Fun weekend.
It's been a good weekend. Some wonderful game. Just
a lot of game
trailers.
stuff.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Wonderful game trailers.
We got a lot to talk about, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm ready for it.
These sweet potato fries are so delicious. What you drinking?
This is actually a grapefruit soda.
Looks pretty good.
It's real
Refreshing?
good. It is refreshing and crisp.
Yeah.
Crisp.
Yeah.
A nice crisp crunch to it. I like it.
I was forced to drink some, was it LaCroix? Some of that bubbly
LaCroix.
water shit. Yeah.
LaCroix.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah, I mean, it does taste like diet water. Like, it tastes like water that's not, just go get a soda, But there's some people that like it.
Or just give me soda. You know what I mean?
LaCroix has an identity crisis. It don't know what it want to be.
Yeah, and it's a trick. Flavored water is literally just soda, guys. Bubbling, carbonated water is literally just soda.
Mm-hmm. That's all it is. I like it, though. I mean, it can be refreshing. It tastes like a haunted house.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
It tastes like aspirations and dreams.
Wow.
It aspires to be a soda.
It does. But I was forced to drink it. But I mean, I don't hate it. But it was just like, damn, I could be drinking something that's not in the middle.
For sure.
But AC Gaming.
Right. There were no wonderful games shown. Everything went woke. All right.
Woke. Thank you everybody here on YouTube, on Twitch.
Yeah, welcome TikTok.
welcome everybody.
So glad to see you all. Oh man,
got some good gamer discussions here. If you're on the Mindful Gamer, if you're on the 8-Bit Closed Fist, if you're on TikTok, everyone, hello. Okay,
welcome.
Hello. We know you're kidding. We know you're kidding.
We know. They don't come here that fast. You got to give them a minute.
They
come in. Yeah,
they got to come when they know things is popping, right? They got to send people in here.
Yeah, for sure.
They need an audience. Right?
Yeah. They're gonna wait to clip things out of context and then make videos about it. That's when they go come.
The introduction.
Yeah.
Who is they? Who was they that we're talking about here?
I know we need to define them.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they know who they are.
I don't think first off, you're using they.
The wrong pronouns. I was just about to say that. I need to refer to them without using pronouns. That's the issue.
Yeah. And how
they don't like pronouns.
Let's do.
It's almost
entity.
like
no.
The entity. Okay, all right.
That's too powerful.
That's too powerful.
That's pretty lit.
They gonna take up that mantle if we do that. We just
like remember when they tried to call us night skins? Oh, like, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah, night skins is dope. Like your racism was so creative,
right,
so creative.
Amazing.
What?
I missed that.
Our war against the night skins will never. Yeah. Let's go.
That's great. Should be a writer, maybe.
Oh man.
Intergalactic planetary. The Game Awards happened, and as it happened, it was fun for some of the people, and for others, it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Why was it a nightmare? Because there was a lot of games that were announced that didn't have a certain main character that they were used to.
Yeah.
And the big nail on the cross was that final one more thing from Jeff Keighley, the big announcement from Naughty Dog.
Yep.
The Last of Us creator, who is also a little bit of a thorn in their side since The Last of Us Part 2. Neil Druckmann and Naughty Dog announced Intergalactic. A spaceship is flown, music is played, it looked great, and then they introduced the woman, the main protagonist of the show.
Yep.
And insanity ensued. Now, could you have imagined? First off, I'm gonna go ahead and find that trailer. I think we should play it.
I think we should play it.
And hopefully the sound comes on first try. I gotta confirm my age. God damn, they're making me confirm my age.
All these woke barriers.
Let me see. Yeah, let's just play this trailer. See what they saw. Bring it in. Hilarious. It's hilarious.
That's one of my church members, dog. In here.
That's hilarious. All right, do you see what I see?
I don't see what you see right now. Right now, I see us.
Okay, you see us. I got you. Boom. And boom.
Okay,
oh, yeah. Now we switch it
got
up.
double echo.
Should be good now.
No, we hearing this twice. And I hear the music twice. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the show.
You're supposed to hear the music twice. God,
yeah,
man.
we hear the background music. We got Inception happening. What's up, Sniper B52? Shout out. That's one of my real good friends, real life friends. He has been around for a while. The last time I talked to Sniper B52, he was getting bited in Elden Ring. You know, he just wasn't ready. But that's okay. Maybe changes have happened. Maybe changes have occurred. We can.
But they also announced the goddamn Elden Ring too. So
they did announce that Elden Ring. That looks fun, man.
I'm gonna be playing it for sure.
That looks so much fun. Oh man, with the Sekiro timing and stuff like that too.
Yep.
Come on with it. No, it's good to see you, B52. Love you very much.
All right, we got it. Let me show this trailer.
Yeah, let's see the trailer. We got our music in the background too.
Now we're hearing all this, right? It looks cool to me.
I thought it was Mass Effect at first.
Poor guy. I'm sorry. I'll be honest. I first seen it. I said, "Damn, it's space." I don't see space. Everyone's interested. Everyone's on board. Okay, very interested. Very on board. Talk to me.
Can I just say I don't know what they saying, bro? One, I ain't trying to be weird or nothing. It's a video game character, but she kind of. I mean, she kind of caked. Like, come on, bro. Look at that stance. Come on,
great.
man. That looks great. I don't see a problem. I don't know what these dudes are talking about. I don't see an issue, bro. I don't see an issue. Please.
God. Boom. Nightmare. There it is.
And then they lost it.
I seen this. I immediately said, "Oh shit, Tatiana Gabriel." Immediately, I knew exactly who that was, and I 100% was like, "Oh shit, okay."
Tell me something good.
Well, you're right, it checks out. He's hiding out around this Imperium moon.
Excellent.
Now, I'm not going to lie. When I did see that, I did say, I think her arms are kind of long. I did say
Yeah.
that. All right, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
the arms are long. The actress that plays her is gorgeous, so she's even better than the conventional attractiveness. They're always crying about the 1,000%. She is
For sure.
absolutely gorgeous.
It's so nice to see something different. Yeah. Like beautiful. Like I don't what?
Pause, everybody. Before we go any further, we have a special guest.
Do we have a guest in the house today?
We have a very special guest
Oh
here.
man.
It's very important that we acknowledge this person. They are coming on. This is someone. Do not be shocked. Do not be alarmed as they come onto the stage.
Okay.
Grand Rising, my kings. What's the
Grums, everybody.
Oh man. Right.
Twitter talking head themselves.
Oh man.
deal? What's the deal, gentlemen? How we feeling?
We're feeling good. We're feeling good.
What's
We're feeling
good,
great.
man? Good to see you. Good to
I'm
see
sorry
you.
I'm a little late here. I had some real life stuff to take care of, but I'm
No,
glad
man,
to be
we
here.
happy to have you. Happy to have you.
I see we're
1000%.
already at the meat and potatoes here. I see what's going on in the
Yeah.
background.
Yeah. We've gotten to this point here when we're looking at this character reveal, and we're trying to get into the minds of these people that have such an issue, right? We have already admitted it. Derek's first thoughts was, okay, we got some cake back there. What's all that movement back there, right? You know what I'm saying? Mine was immediately, oh, that's Santiago Gabriel, baddie. I'm intrigued.
Tati is a baddie indeed.
You know what I'm saying? DQ, how you feeling, man? Up until this point, anyway.
Up until
of you
this
watching
point in the trailer.
It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be about the character. Who knows? Maybe you was looking at the ambiance.
Yeah, you like the room.
You know what I mean?
So my first question is this. You guys both have PlayStations. You grew up on PlayStation. What's your thoughts on Naughty Dog as a company? Let me ask you this, actually. Let me ask you this instead. Do you feel like Naughty Dog has ever made a bad game?
No.
No, not at all.
Okay.
No.
Not at all.
So I was sitting and thinking about this, and I don't even think they've ever made an average game. I think they've only made incredible games. From their franchises and every single installment in those franchises, it's only been top tier stuff.
Yeah.
So when I watched this and I saw that it was Naughty Dog, my mind automatically goes, I don't even care about the rest of this trailer. I don't even care about the discourse of anything. My mind is already like, we're getting a new incredible game. And that's the only thing that mattered to me.
Yeah. I agree.
Valid.
Now,
100% valid.
the one criticism that if I was playing devil's advocate, I could go into is, when was the last time they touched a new IP, which would be Last of Us, right? And when did that come out? 2013? It's been like a decade, right? Now, the thing with studios is the creative minds in these studios is constantly rotating. People are coming in and out all the time. So I could be a critic and say they haven't done anything new in a long time. They've kind of just been riding off of the success of previous things for a while. Do they still have the sauce to come up with a new IP and it be successful? And I can understand that criticism, but because they've never let me down in the past, because they've only done good for me up to this point, I can't do anything but be excited for this game, bro.
Yeah.
1000% with you. Which is interesting. We'll get back into the trailer in a second, but I don't really even think about, and I think this is just a me thing, but I don't really think about companies like the games that they create. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think, like whenever I never realized really that Naughty Dog produces games that I like until I decided to like really look into it, which is like recently. I would just play them, right? Mostly because I'm skipping everything in the beginning anyway. But when I look into Naughty Dog, I will say a lot of that success is due to Amy Hennig. I hope I said that last name right. My favorite, I won't say my favorite, but one of my most pivotal, most influential installments was Uncharted, and she had a really big hand in
Facts.
that. I do think even going forward, I think Neil Druckmann got a little bit more credit than he probably deserved on creating some of these games and why they are good. So going into this, although it said Naughty Dog, in my head, like I'm automatically on some like any game could flop and any game I could not like. And when I say flop, I just mean like could not be interesting to me personally.
That's fair.
So I seen Naughty Dog and I was like, okay, I do kind of like Naughty Dog, but I also seen Space and I don't really care for another. Like Space has a bad taste in my mouth as well.
Really?
Especially since it was in a vehicle and she was looking at planets. In my head, I immediately thought I'm going to be looking at procedurally generated planets. I don't want to do that shit again.
You think this is going to be open world?
I don't think it'll be open world, and I do think it would be
because
on
I
one
don't
planet.
either.
But upon first watch, that's my thoughts. Derek, what as far as Naughty Dog goes, and your idea for the game up until this point, what are your feelings?
So I didn't really. First off, I didn't grow up on PlayStation. I was an Xbox gamer. I didn't get a PlayStation 4 until the PlayStation 4. I got a PlayStation 4 around the time Resident Evil 7 came out in VR, and I was really interested in that. And so I played Resident Evil 7 through VR, and then I started playing the Naughty Dog games. I had the original PlayStation, so my first Naughty Dog experience was Crash Bandicoot, and I loved it, but I hadn't made that connection that it was Naughty Dog. The first Naughty Dog game I played, though, was the Uncharted Drake's collection, and like I was blown away. Like Xbox did not have anything like this. Like they were not making games that were like, I was like, I'm watching a movie, bro. Like what is this?
100%.
What am I playing right now?
They took the shit to the next level, 100%.
It was like just storytelling, like everything about it. Like it was fast paced. There was rarely a moment of like downtime. So when I saw that it was Naughty Dog, I didn't have the same level of excitement that everybody else might have because of the things that they are used to with it. But to me, first off, I was disappointed because when I first saw the trailer, I was thinking Mass Effect. I really was, especially when I saw the blue and then a little bit of red. Like I ran and turned on my camera, and like I have that video. I don't want to show nobody because of how sad I was whenever I found out that this was not Mass Effect. My feelings were so hurt. But to me, just especially The Last of Us was very transformative in my life. The Last of Us Part 2, like I trust them to make a good game. Like I know that it's not gonna be like they're not gonna give a slop. So I was excited about it when I saw it. I really love the ambiance of it. I am not dead on space just yet. I feel like there's still some more space stories to be told. And I think if Naughty Dog is telling the story, I think they might tell it in a way that'll be exciting. So
How is that? He's next to fucking
Interesting.
Siberia. No one has left that planet in over
I mean, look at that ship, man. Come on.
even flies close to it has never heard from
It looks so good, bro.
Superstitions.
100%.
No. Superstitions are the crazy rumors about what happened on that planet. These are facts.
She do got a blicky, so people was talking about guns here.
Yeah.
She do have a gun. People were thinking that it was going to be maybe it was going to be all melee. I know we seen that melee in the end there, and that's probably her main thing, but
You
she
worry
definitely
too
put a
much.
gun in a
You know
holster.
what I worry just to write about? I say we wait for him to leave, or how about
I like this lady's
we
voice
find a
too.
new lead?
Mm-hmm.
She's somebody famous too,
Is it
right?
worth it?
She is.
I can't think of it.
Her and Tatiana posted a picture
I'm
after.
wasting my time, aren't I?
Can you please blame him?
So a lot of the thing too, right? We're gonna talk about the looks. We're gonna get into that at some point too. But I do want to talk about the
I want that as a
personality.
screensaver.
I
I
know,
want
right?
that as a screensaver, please. Can I have that? Can we take a picture of that? I want that for real. Let me find love. Let me find somebody that look at me like that, please.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Not mad at it. Another thing that they said that they were so upset about, I guess, that a lot of the quote unquote the people that start staying in the middle, right? I'm going to start from the middle and then work my way out to the far other side. They don't want another woman who's snarky and confident and girl boss. That's they feel like that trope is overplayed. What are we thinking about that, DQ?
All right, this is what I think, bro. Is that a problem when a man does it? Is it a problem when it's a man boss? Because if it's not, then you have to ask yourself, what is the reason you have a problem with it being a female? That's all it is, bro. if you get these characters that are these super masculine guys that take charge, and they're like, if you don't have a problem with that, but then when it's a female character, you have an issue with it, you're saying a lot about your personal ideologies. That's what it comes down to. And these people with all of these topics, they're scared to just admit what it all stems from. Yeah. It's always some random excuse of, this feels out of place, or just admit what you want to say, bro. I would have a lot more respect for you, honestly, if you just said how you feel.
And this whole thing would be easier.
Yeah, it would be so much easier. Yeah.
There's a YouTuber who you may have heard of him. His name is Synthetic Man. He's one of these guys, right? The difference with him and the rest of these other folks, he just straight out says it, right? Like, he lets you know, I don't like black people. I don't like women. And it's like, hey, don't get me wrong. I think you're dumb as shit, but I at least respect the fact that you're willing to say that you're that piece of shit, instead of these folks that, they play on the fence with it,
It's just a tired trope. It just doesn't add, it takes me out of the immersion. All these excuses that they like to use, just say, it makes you uncomfortable because it's a woman, etc.
Exactly. Because once you do that, we don't even have to have the conversation. You say, hey, I don't like women. Okay, you're dumb. We don't need to talk about it.
Right. 100%. Let me see. I got just me up there.
I don't need another hunter swooping in.
Who is swooping? No one is crazy enough to go there.
He clearly is.
He is clearly desperate.
And so am I, so claim him, or I will find another agent.
That's what deal your fucking shit. Okay, all right, you know what? There, you're the boss.
Some solid actors for the be in this. Solid cast.
Listen, kid. I'll see you on the other side.
Fire. Jacket fire.
The fit, yeah.
The music is fire. The ambiance, everything right now in my head is fucking fire. Fucking Porsche spaceship.
I know, man.
Shit lit. Yeah.
Bang,
flex.
Yeah.
after
Like,
bang
go ahead
and
and
flex it. Yeah.
W
Let
after
them know.
W right there.
Let them know from the studio that brought you W after W.
Right.
After W.
Get it twisted. Fire. So allegedly, he said this is some in-game footage. Allegedly, that is in-game footage.
Oh, like, imagine.
Even
Just
Go
imagine
ahead.
having to fake like you're not excited about some shit like that.
Right.
Like, imagine watching and be like, oh, this is trash. You're just lying, man. You're just
You're
lying.
forced to, right? And the crazy thing too, and you know what I'm saying, the crazy thing too is that, the person profile picture that you got right now, they'll do shit like they'll tell everybody else not to play it, but they're playing the game. Like they're having fun. They're saying
They just
vote
did it
with your
Indiana
wallet.
Jones.
Right.
They
He's
just
playing
did
the
it with-
shit out of Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And if
It's
you look at his
insane.
profile, he said he like way before, right? He already said like, I'm a big fan of Indiana Jones. Like, just in tweet, just random tweet, right? And then he had to play into the woke stuff, right? That all of his colleagues was going into. He couldn't say too much because he knew deep down he was going to play this game because he fucking likes Indiana Jones. The game comes out, he's having a blast. So much so that it released, I guess, a blunder. He ain't even played Black Myth Wukong. He said he gonna play Black Myth Wukong after he finished playing Indiana
Yeah.
Jones. He got all types of shit talking about Black Myth Wukong.
And
You ain't
that's
even
their
played
baby.
it.
Yeah.
That group, they all crowded around Black Myth Wukong this year.
Yeah.
Man said, nah, I'm gonna play some indie, man. The game that y'all been crying about, I'm gonna go
Facts.
play that one.
The Nazi puncher.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Did you see where they got upset that someone said, here's how, I think DQ, I think you actually
Yeah.
made a video about that,
Yeah.
didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, what happened? They
That
got
shit was
upset because
hilarious.
someone said, what happened?
So the brand Kotaku, I think that's who it was.
Yep.
They posted an article talking about, you know, how the combat works in the game, and they titled it. It was something like "How to Punch Fascists Better in Indiana Jones" or something like that. Which, like, you know, they were just being cute with the title, and the Trumpers just came out and drove.
nowhere.
Oh, no.
Trump won. Cry more. What are you talking about? What does
Well,
that
Trump's your
have to
president,
do?
so it is what it is.
You're talking about fighting Nazis in a video game, and you're like, nah, Trump won.
Nazis.
What?
Yeah. Here goes the virtue signaling again.
No,
Literally
man,
about punching.
I'm excited about it. One. It's just that setting. Like when they started playing that '80s like synth music type shit. Like I'm really
man.
excited about that. I think that's gonna be sick. You know, I was a little bit frustrated with the product placement until I saw your video right now where you were talking about that's actually an artistic style where like they had, you know, product placement and things like that in the game. It's vaporware. Is that what it is?
Yeah, like it's kind of like it's vaporwave is big on that. For anybody else that didn't see it, but like vaporwave is kind of like this musical trend going on, but it also comes with an aesthetic, and with that aesthetic, it really taps into nostalgia, but it also is a critique on consumerism. So they show like a bunch of different products and things like that. Further than that, there's in sci-fi. To show like a dystopian future, a lot of times like they'll use brands and these big companies to basically
That
say
makes sense.
that this is how they shape us. This is how, you know, what we're doing now, what we're consuming now can shape us in the future for better or for worse, mostly for worse.
Like Idiocracy, where they had all the okay.
Exactly.
I see what you're
Literally.
saying. Yeah.
That's a good comparison. Idiocracy for sure.
And on top of that, Akira does it. They look down. They look at a G-Shock on that motorcycle. There's all types of ads. I'll try and pull up some pictures, but like it's a more so I would say it's probably an immediate inspiration from Akira, and just kind of like that old school '90s whatever vibe. But I do think there is clearly a point in that. I seen Neil say that the story is about how religion, how you shouldn't put, how there's about a religion, a religious whatever entity, and how you shouldn't put too much faith into those type of ordeals, basically.
Man,
that's
now
what
they
the
gonna
story
really
is
get
about.
it twice, bro. They gonna get it twice because underlining all of this, like anti-wokeness, there. And I saw this pop off the other day because this is in line with our conversation about whether or not the character is attractive. I'm not sure. I just call them the ministers of anti-wokeness. That's what I do. And there's one of them, Melanie Mack, who has said just some horrible, awful stuff about the LGBTQ community. Like she claims to be a Christian. I didn't think that Jesus would use the F word as much as she does, referring to the LGBTQ community. But anyway, so Stellar Blade, which you have up here as well, they released, I think it was some new emotes or something like that. And there was a video where someone had showed one of the characters, and again, Stellar Blade, not Stellar, was it? No, it was First Descendant, the Last Descendant. The first, is it the last or the
One
first?
of them.
First.
Anyway, the First Descendant, someone was doing the emo, and you know how the game is just a mid game for just gooners, right? And they did a close up on like of a butt shot of the character dancing, and someone said, "Is this what gamers want?" And so Melanie Mack replied, "This isn't what I want. I would feel like a complete and total loser playing this." And they came for her. They came for her and everything that she owned, talking about, you know, no censorship in the games and things like that. Like they're really imploding when it comes to things. But she was saying Jesus Christ, you know, is my Lord and Savior. And so like I just know on top of what they're already doing, if the narrative or storyline in this game is about why you shouldn't trust in religion, like they're gonna have a field day. And that's fine. Let them play, but they're gonna have a field day.
That interwar that they had was very interesting too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep that on Twitter.
It goes to show just how fucking outlandish they are, and like there's no real rhyme or reason to really the shit that they're talking about.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
BMW, Canon, Citizen, a bunch of stuff. But she's bald, guys. Why'd they have to make her bald? She's bald. She's buff. You know, and gamers, why make a game for the 1% of the game population that doesn't play games? White men play games, so you need to make games for white men, because we're the biggest majority of people who buy games. What is this agenda to push black, gay, bald, ugly characters in our video
lesbian.
games? And lesbian. Lesbian is shit.
Wait. Lesbian, black, gay, bald, lesbian characters with vitiligo. You can't forget vitiligo.
The vitiligo thing is the craziest shit to me. The vitiligo thing is the craziest shit to me.
What's the mindset behind them saying that? Like, are they saying that they want to see themselves? Like, what causes them to say that they only want to see this specific group? They only want to see attractive women. They only want to see buff guys. Like, do you guys know why they feel that way?
To be honest, I do. And like, it is a lot to unpack, but at the very base of all of it, they have this idea, like it's like it's the pipeline to like the alt-right, and they like to say the other side. I don't like to look at myself as left and right. I think there are areas of gray. There are some views I have that people on the left will look at me and say, how could you? And there are some views on the right. Like, I know that about myself. My ideas on microtransactions frustrate people sometimes, you know, but like I get it. But like I feel I'm still waiting for that fighting game invite. But like, the thing is, we can come together and we can talk and we can discuss without it being like throwing insults and stuff back and forth at each other. But what's underlying all of it is we have this pipeline to the alt-right fascism, and they have a belief in something called the Great Replacement Theory. And it's that white men believe that they're being replaced in society and that they're being excluded. And so now that they're seeing video games start to be more diverse, they're starting to also feel that fear there as well, because they don't have the same hold on society that they used to. And like, the thing is, these companies, I talked with a developer the other day who was talking about like diversity in Marvel and things like that. Like, they don't care about them being upset, because at the end of the day, they buy the games, they buy the tickets, they play the game. Like, they're making money. Diversity makes money. The market has expanded. I think even after COVID is where we started to see this boom, because like, we were all locked in and people found out, oh my God, the things gamers have been saying for years is true. Video games are fun, like that. And so more people are starting to get involved. So as everybody's saying, there's a deep-rooted insecurity that they're not the only people in the gaming space anymore. In the past, they could go, and every single game that was released was going to make sure that they've been represented, and that's been going on. It's been so much. They've been represented so hard for just since the inception of gaming. Duke Nukem, Master Chief, every single it's in everything.
We'll be here all day. Yeah,
that we'll be here all day if we started listing the games that they were in. And so to them, to see a woman in a game, like, it's just what they're focused on. To see a woman in a game, it just makes them feel like they don't care about me anymore. I've given so much. What about me? What about me?
But the mindful gamer, they don't care about. They like Stellar Blade. They like Tomb Raider. They like Bayonetta. They like you know what I'm saying. They love that. So it's not. You're wrong. It's not just they want to see
that too.
A white man.
Yeah, I got one for that too. Again, since those white men, and we're just going to call it what it is, they're going to be mad, but since those white men have been the primary market and target for video games, they've also been marketed overly sexualized version of women since the inception of gaming. And I have a little bit of sympathy for them, because it's not, I think we're dealing with pornography addicts. We're dealing with people whose minds have, like, we don't see with our eyes. There's nothing behind here but mush. We see with our brains, and their brains have been so inundated with overly sexualized, like, you can see it in mods. If you ever watch any mods for Resident Evil, or mods for any games, these women have size 66E breasts, and it's not, and I'm not saying, like, because you have to be careful, I'm not saying that there isn't a woman out there that that doesn't fit that body type. I'm not saying, but if it's to the point, it's like alcohol, right? Like it's not, I mean, we can talk about it, but like live your life, have a drink. But if you need an alcoholic drink for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you have a problem. If you cannot play a game with a woman in it who has proportions that are average, they're just average, right? If you can't play a game with a woman with average proportions who isn't dolled up, oiled up, straight hair, blue eyes, breasts popping out everywhere, you have an issue. So we're dealing with men whose brains are literally addicted to and coded to pornography, and they don't see the same things that we see. They just don't. If it doesn't come in that package that they're used to, they don't see it. And it's disgusting and uncomfortable. Like, I want to see a range of femininity, and it isn't always just my breasts are hanging out of my shirt. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And you can look, we're not saying one shouldn't exist. You can have both. You can literally have both.
Yes.
Just because Intergalactic
Most
exists.
people want both, bro.
Yeah.
Most people
You
want to
can
enjoy
play
the
both.
entire range of games, man. We don't just want this one specific thing.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that you said, like, you know, they get mad at average looking women. It's not even average women. Siri is not an average looking woman, bro.
Yeah.
That's a good looking woman. And they're like, they're still like,
looks
oh, she's
pretty
ugly.
great.
Are you out of your fucking mind? Like,
Siri looks great.
She literally looks like
fine.
She's
Scarlett
older.
Johansson.
She's been through some shit. Like, come on.
Well,
She's
she doesn't look like a porn star. They're like, nah, this game's trash. You guys are
Come on. And they didn't even play the game. They didn't even play the game the way that they're talking. Like, they're self-reporting. They didn't play the game or have never read a book ever. Like, let Geralt rest. He's had 3 games. Let this man rest. Let him rest. Yeah.
Like, okay, that picture. Even if your mindset is there, she looks less attractive than she did in 3. If that's your opinion, you're allowed to have that opinion. To say that she's ugly, to say that that's ugly, what are you talking about, man?
Insane.
Yeah.
Any person that's saying that, if a woman like that walked up to you in real life, you would not say the same, bro.
For sure. Wouldn't even get the time of day. Wouldn't be able to speak. Wouldn't be able to speak. Wouldn't be able to speak.
Yeah. No, it's outrageous. I freaking see. No, here's the thing too, right? Because that's facts. All of that's facts, right? One, and it's not just see themselves represented. It's their view. It's their worldview, right? And like you said, that includes extremely sexualized women. That includes themselves, the male protagonists with the gun and no feelings to kill people, whatever, right? But like I've said before in one of my videos, like, I have never felt represented in a video game. Like, I've never seen myself in it, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's not a single character where I say, oh man, that's me. There's aspects of a character. There's experiences maybe that a character had to deal with. There's dialogue, you know what I'm saying, that maybe a character said that I would say at a moment. But I've never identified as a character. And don't sue me, but none of you 15-year-old kids did either. When you was playing fucking Metal Gear Solid, you couldn't relate. You couldn't relate, brother, to none of these dudes in the army. All right. Now, you may feel like you could have for certain aspects. Maybe you felt like you was in a tough situation, for sure. Right. But anybody could be in a tough situation. A bandicoot, could be in a raccoon can be in a tough situation. Talking toaster can be in a tough situation, and you can relate to literally all of those things. It's not that crazy. Relates about NBA Street. I did. I was always balling, so that I did relate to NBA Street. Stretch.
For them to say, like, I don't want to play as a woman because I can't relate to a woman. It's like, my boy, you are not Kratos. Like, you are not these characters that you are trying to convince us that you relate to. You know who you are? You're the guy from fucking Disco Elysium. A drunk, ugly as fuck, like cooked in the face. That's you. Like, that's a normal guy. You can say you relate to that. You don't relate to these action adventure superstars that you love. So what do you mean it's about relatability? It's not. It's about just enjoying the story and the character that's put in front of you. It's not
I don't
about
think,
saying that
but
to
you know what I
myself.
think it is? I think when they say they don't relate, what they really mean is they cannot tolerate the space that exists when they have to empathize with those characters. They can't empathize with them. They can't understand that women go through difficult things too. They can't understand that, like,
For
whenever
sure.
I played through Mass Effect, I've always played as a female protagonist. One, because the way that she ate every single voice line in that game, Michelle, oh, I can't think of her last name right now, but she ate every single line up. But I remember playing, and there was one mission where this guy made a comment about my ass or some shit, and I'm here on, like, you know, I'm here on business. I'm here on, you know, like, I'm here to do work. Like, I'm Commander Shepard, bitch. What the fuck, you know? And
Yeah.
like, but
Yeah.
if you're the guy that does shit like that, if you're
Right.
the guy that is like, you know, let me get a smile, things like
Right.
that, you know? So I really feel like it's not that they can't, it's not even about relating. It's like they can't empathize. They don't see women as like humans. They don't see them as people. They don't see them as having emotions. And I think it makes them really uncomfortable to have to play a character that is a woman and have to tolerate that space. And I just wonder, like, do you guys have mothers? Do you have sisters? Do you have, like, I just don't understand how they can hold those beliefs at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. So there also
Jennifer Hale.
there's another person, right? Because we are talking about, you know, white dudes for the most part, but that's not all the people who believe this, right?
No.
There are others out there who wholeheartedly support this same exact claim. My question is, where do these people come from? Why do they believe it as well?
Yeah. What you think,
where's-
DQ?
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I have no fucking clue. I don't understand. Like when I see women that are on this side, you know, like the
Yeah.
people like Melanie Mack, I really can't wrap my head around the mindset. And when I see, you know, there's black people that ride on this fence of like, yeah, there's just too much forced inclusion. It's like, bro, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I understand when they do it. I can see where the mind comes from. I don't get how you can be a part of these groups and agree with this shit. I really don't.
I say that because most recently I posted a video on Twitter, of course, as I usually do, and obviously got some of the same people, but occasionally I see a melanated person, not just from a profile picture, but I know they are actually a melanated person, and it blows my mind. But they also share something in common that I'll get into after I show you this right here. Let's see what he had to say.
Oh my God, look at this dude. This guy is such a clown. Oh, wide mouth suckering succotash here.
Okay, let's hold on.
What did you
stop
say?
right there.
What
Let's-
did you say to him, man? What did you say to this man?
Now
What's going on, man?
What did you say to him?
let's dissect a few
Jeez.
things. Let's start with the cloud and the ceiling.
Okay, look, I'm not participating in this. All right, look, you go ahead. No, you go ahead. I'm gonna let you fight your battle. You got this. I'm not. I'm a hit it from another angle. You go ahead. You go ahead.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say I don't like the zip up hoodie and the cowboy hat together. But all right, so this is what he had to say. He starts off with a very good point, which is
Oh my God, look at this dude. This guy is such a clown. Oh, wide mouth suckering succotash here. Thinks he's talking from an intellectual high horse. My guy, you contradicted yourself in your own video.
should I play the video?
I don't think I saw the video.
Yeah, I don't think I saw it. And also, just again, I'm that person. It's suffering succotash. I don't know what suffering succotash is. It's suffering. I'm just trying, because I said I was
No, I
going
got
to hit
you.
it from a different angle.
I got
So
you. I got
it's
you. I got you.
suffering succotash. I just wanted
It
to
is. No, you're
make
right.
sure that we
You are right
talked
about
about that.
Okay, so this was in response
This-
to an Asmongold thing.
No, this was in response to Ronell.
Well,
Right?
yeah, I quote his tweet, but this is what I had to say.
People racist and bigot. Hey, remember when we called the anti-woke people racist and bigots and misogynists, etc.? And they said, no, we don't mind y'all being in games. As long as it doesn't ruin the story, as long as the game is still good. And then the people in the quote unquote middle, the neutral party said, yeah, I like good games too. Yeah, that makes sense. I believe them. There's brand new games that aren't even out yet, and they're crying because they feel the main character didn't pander to them. That is what this is about. They don't care about good games. They want to be the center of attention. But that's them. It's the people in the quote-unquote middle that believe their bullshit is what kills me. Their new argument is, I can't relate to this character. I have literally never related to a video game character my entire life. Maybe certain aspects of a character, certain dialogue choices or situations, maybe. But as a character as a whole, never. And most of you haven't either. When you were in high school, middle school, or whatever, playing these games where your biggest problem was whether or not you was getting a good grade in math, you couldn't relate to these characters. And are they saying they can relate to attractive women characters? It doesn't make sense, but it's not supposed to. They are telling you they want to be pandered to. They're saying they want to be the center of attention, and they can't enjoy anything with the thought that they may not have been the center of attention. This is not about whether or not a game is good or not. This is not about the gameplay. This is not about the dialogue. They're saying pander to us or we are upset. And to that, I say, as long as the game is good, get over it. And tap in for more video game discussion.
Simple. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if it was too much suffering succotash going on.
Succotash.
But apparently this person was fake mad about it. All right. Very fake angry about it.
Look at this dude. This guy is such a clown. Oh, wide mouth suckering succotash here.
Wait, real quick.
Talk to me.
Why did he just call you what you wanted to call you? Because I feel like I heard a slur in there, boss. I heard a slur in there. I feel like he wanted to call you something else, bro.
He could have just said it.
He could have just said it. You old wide mouth.
Would have loved it.
You wide mouth.
I felt like I was in
You
a Tarantino
cotton
movie
picking.
for a minute.
Yeah. Where's the Tarantino? You cotton picking, wide mouth, black necked.
What's that dude? Y'all ever watch Black Lightning? It's the albino boss. That's
I love him, bro. I love him. Chocolate covered Incredibles lives rent free in my head, bro.
You know what I'm saying? That's what he's trying to. That's what he's trying to channel.
Go ahead, hit it, bro. Like damn.
You know what I'm saying? Look at the
say it. All right.
Suckering succotash here. Thinks he's talking from an intellectual high horse. My guy, you contradicted yourself in your own video.
Maybe.
Which is it? Do we want games to pander to us, or can we not relate to them?
Boom. I don't understand. Can anyone explain that to me? The contradiction is
A game doesn't have to be relatable to pander to you, right? Like Duke Nukem's not relatable. It's very obviously pandering to a specific group, right? It's the guys who fuck with the manly masculine stuff. Doesn't mean you relate to the character.
I'm very confused on where the concept
pander to us, or can we not relate to them? Like,
can you not relate to them, or do you want them to pander to you? I think I get what he's trying to say here, but they definitely can pander to you still.
Right.
Like,
I think what he's saying is like whenever you said that like you have never related to a character in a game, and I think the thing is like, for me, it's being represented. Like I want to be like, yeah, sure, I can't relate to Solid Snake or whatever, but it would be nice to see a representation of a black male that got to a place that he was a military, espionage or a spy, right? Like it's the same thing in Marvel movies. Like we would like to see that there are other black superheroes or disabled superheroes or you know what I'm saying? Or superheroes from different backgrounds. It's being able to see that like if powers were real in the world that we live in right now, we would also have black superheroes. We'd also have women superheroes. We'd also have, and I think this problem is going to go away when we start stepping into VR, but I think that's what he's trying to say.
And I think he's confused. They said they want to be able to relate to the character in response to seeing Tati Gabrielle's character. And I'm telling them that there's no relating to Kratos necessarily, but you can relate to certain aspects of Kratos, right? And you want to be pandered to, which means you want more things for you to relate to. And having Tatiel Gabriel as the vehicle is something that you can't do. You don't have the skills, the mystical capacity, whatever it is, to like the empathy to relate to anyone that doesn't fit your worldview. Yeah, a little confused there.
Hey, what are you talking about? I actually agree with you. I don't relate to none of these characters, which is why I'm trying to figure out why your side is
They always do sides too.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. In order for this to work, they have to create enemies. They have to, like, this entire culture war thing only exists within the sphere that they live in. They have created all, and that's one of the things why it's so hard to attack and talk about. They always say, like, people don't speak up, like, we're winning, because they've created their own lore and narrative. They've been repeating the same thing for, like, years and years and years. And so when they speak, most of the general gaming community already knows where they're coming from, because they've set up the BlackRock, and the games are being pandered to 3% of the population, and they're trying to take over gaming, and games suck nowadays because of forced diversity and inclusion. And so, like, it's so hard to say anything back against it, because by just it's a trap. Just the fact that you respond to it, you've already accepted their premises. In order for this to work, we would have to go all the way back to the beginning and attack the premise first. And, like, you just can't do that when they're constantly screaming at you like this. Like,
there's so much, right? And
there's so much lore. Yeah.
And they started off, it goes all the way back to the government and BlackRock, right?
Yes.
Like that. You know what I'm saying? So it goes into, like, propaganda, which goes into DEI, which goes into forced diversity, which goes into stories and characters being changed. You have to go up this entire chain of imagination that they have created in their world. And it's a tough fucking battle. And I will say, it's greatly crafted. Again, the grifters, and he's positioned himself into that grifter Illuminati pulpit of whatever Gamergate 2 activists.
Is this guy a content creator, or is he just someone who decided to post a video? I've never seen him before, so I'm not sure.
I seen him again when someone recently, like, later on this day, posted him, like, talking to all those other guys, the Hypnotics.
He's part of that. Yeah, he's part of that Hypnotic thing. Actually, that one guy that called it Spear Chucker Studios, he actually referenced him as, like, one of my black friends that I know, that I've put on my show and platform.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
So he's playing that role that you have to have in that community, where to make them look diverse, right? Like,
he's the token black guy. He's the I'm not racist.
Absolutely,
he's the DEI.
He's the DEI part.
He's the forced inclusion.
For sure. Like, they have to have it. And so, like, when you were saying, DQ, like, you don't understand why these people are part of it. Like, again, you have to go back far enough. But anything that they can do, like, there's absolutely within, and you can't speak on this, but we can, within the black community, there is an issue. Like, we don't, black folk, the Christianity, like, gay people, like, they can sing in the choir. They can sing in the choir. They can play the tambourine. But other than that, and so, like, again, it allows them to have a vehicle to be able to express that part of the hate, which is why we see so many people, like, jumping on that bandwagon. And it's just nice to be in community, right? Like, they feel like they're banded together against
Sunday
this culture,
talking sessions.
Yeah. They get to hang out. They get to, gives them something to do. But they've created this monster that they have to fight. So, yeah, you're right. Like, going back to the video, like, they have to say on that side when it's like, I didn't like Dustborn either. I ripped it a new face. Like, I hated Dustborn. It was one of the worst pieces of slop to ever be released ever. Like, it's terrible. The writing was horrible. It was not good, But they have to create these sides, because if they don't, then the general audience of people who, again, it's sometimes hard to be patient with them, because you're like, how do you not see this? But I can understand how you not see it. Not everybody is a content creator. There are people who are consuming content. They have other things to do with their life, and so they're just constantly being fed this stuff. And so if they don't come up with this idea of sides, then they wouldn't have it just wouldn't work. They have to make an enemy on the other side to be
for sure.
Kind of like God creating the devil. Anyway, don't get too deep with that, but
so desperate to put themselves in the game.
I also see that with a lot of people. They gotta yell to bring their points home. They got to yell to
have to
scream.
Home.
Which I get.
Yeah, that's Angry Joe.
I've always been confused by that, because they say that a lot. They say that these ugly developers are trying to put themselves into the characters. There's just so many cases of white developers making black characters, or men making women characters. How are they trying to put themselves? Like,
literally, Intergalactic is made by Neil Druckmann, who is a fucking
what the fuck?
He ain't a black lady.
South of Midnight's made by a white guy. What are you guys saying?
Yeah.
They have no clue. They have to make this
They
up
really
though, right?
don't.
But
They
it's
have
not
to
them,
make stuff
right?
up.
In their head, it's not going to be them. This is how the lore that they created is fucking fantastic, like a horoscope thing. Like, it's not them. It's not Neil. He's doing this because BlackRock is telling them to do it, right? And then when you mention BlackRock, there's a whole thing like, okay, are black people in BlackRock kind of thing? Like, well, no, because it's an ESG. It's a whole thing. It's a whole fake lore that they have. There is really no logic to it.
See, a wise man once said, when you see one roach in your house, there's likely 30 more. And if there's 30 more, there's probably 300 more. That wise man was me. It absolutely was not hypnotic. It was me, okay? Just throwing that out there. When you see these poor designs.
That was a hypnotic shout out, I guess.
Yeah,
in the middle.
because they want to be, but because the thing is, like,
Look at
again,
me.
yeah, look at me, but like, elevate me as well. You would think that like he would be more elevated within that space, you know. You think that they would do more to center
Yeah.
him, but
Yeah. DI though.
And these androgynous, obviously box checking designs.
So the box checking designs, I guess in this case, Tatiel Gabriel, but stronger.
It's a symptom of a larger disease. It tells the audience that the creators do not have their head where it's supposed to be. They're supposed to have their heads on making the best possible game. So when you give us some bald, weird, almost trans-like looking character, we see exactly what you're trying to do it, especially when the...
You said what?
I said, there it is. Like, there it is. And we'll hit this after this. But the thing is, what we have to contend with is we all have the same information. We're playing the same games. They're just coming to conclusions that are different than someone else might. Like, how it's hard to hold a space and say, for example, you can have your opinion about the character design, but like they get to decide what they think is the best game. Like that's gonna be subjective. Like if Neil Druckmann feels like the best game, the best way to tell this story was this way, then that's what it is. But they already have a hatred for the LGBTQ community. They already have a hatred for those things. So when they see them in the games, they have issue. And then on our side, but from this perspective, it's not a side, it's just perspectives. Like I had there again, Dustborn, a perfect example. I hated that game. I thought it was bad. Like I can see that there's sometimes a Pokemon released an update where they changed the character models and they took away things and it made everyone look androgynous in the same. I didn't like that. I thought that that was problematic. Like you can have these points of view without also the hatred of the LGBTQ community, without also the hatred of other individuals. And that's the issue. Like it's not a critique of the art. It's a critique of people that they think the art represents. Ooh, that was fire. Somebody write that down. Somebody write that down. That was fire. That was fire. Yeah, that was fire. I need that. I need that pinned.
I just want to say that this guy, he watched the trailer for that game and came to the conclusion. He just said that they put all of their effort into designing this androgynous character instead of making the best game possible. He came to that conclusion off of a 1.5-minute trailer. I'm being so serious when I say this. How can you expect me to take you serious? When you say shit like that, how can I take you serious, bro?
Yeah,
that's true.
It's like the point of that trailer having the convo.
The point of that trailer was to introduce you to the character. Like that's
it.
The point of it. But and that's the thing, right? There's this fundamental forced ignorance. Like there's no way anyone really believes that choosing what color to pick to make the character and what hairstyle they have is deterring the entire game development cycle and ideas of figuring out the combat, the world. And like all of this is just brought to a screeching halt until like 5 years out of 8 of the years of development for a game on average is going to figuring out the character is going to be black, gay, or bald. That makes no fucking sense.
Yeah. But like, because they can't because they can't point where the issue lies, right? Like you can't I think a lot of them it has to deal with like they don't want to lose access to the gaming companies, to the access to those things, right? Like I can't, if I criticize Ubisoft, for example, for the microtransactions in games, the unnecessary microtransactions in single player games, I criticize Ubisoft. I'm not showing up at Ubisoft, not gonna give me nothing. They not inviting me. They not flying me out anywhere. But if I say that the game was bad because they spent too much time working on the characters, and that took away from that, like, it allows you to be able to and so, but yeah, they blame things that, like, there's a whole other separate team that's probably working on the creative direction that has nothing to do with it. But in their mind, it's like, well, they spent more time in Concord, for example. If they wouldn't have spent so much time working on the character designs, then the game would have been better. No, if you wouldn't have released a $40 looter shooter in a world where Overwatch exists, the game would have been better.
And then say what would be better then. You know what I'm saying? Like, what would be better then? But it's not about any of that. And that's also where, like, the point that you brought up earlier, that's also where the point where other people can jump on, right? That's where, like, the black guys can jump on. Everyone else who's non-white, they could jump on to the point also just being homophobic and transphobic, right? They hear homophobic, transphobic, they're like, all right, I'm rocking with you. Like, even if you're a little racist, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't be blatant with it.
Right.
Just be...
No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, but I was going to say you're right. But then they start jumping off, because then there are points where, like the spear chucker incident, where they had that conversation. Then they do something, and it's like, I saw the comments. I thought this was just about fighting wokeness. This is just straight up racism. This is just, and then they jump off of the train. So, like, they're there until they get to a point. And the question is, how much of it are you going to tolerate? How much are you going to sit there and let them play in your face and talk about you like that? And the internet is forever. People are going to be able to see this forever. Like, how long are you going to allow that to happen?
And for some people, that's forever, as long as they're getting it back.
Right.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 AAA studios before you did the exact same thing. And you think we just, oh no, like it's cool that they all making that creative decision. Niggas like you don't even play it. If you did, Concord would still be up right now. What are you talking about? See, the truth is, you're mad. You're mad, okay? You keep trying to misrepresent.
You played Concord, didn't you?
I did play Concord. I was talking into a disc of Concord.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It was actually in the middle of the screen, actually. Concord, the game that I played.
The conversation. You can be represented in all these games. It's just when they flop, don't ask us why. We already told you.
They always speak in groups, right? Us. When they don't ask us,
you're mad because the people in the middle not only believe what we're saying, we're showing it to them, and they can see what it is we're saying. You ain't did shit.
They believe you because if you repeat a lie long enough, it starts to become the truth. The algorithms are not pushing any of the in order to break this down, it would take months to start to dismantle this lore that they've created about what's wrong with video games. It's very simple. The CEOs at the top are getting in record bonuses and things like that, and they're shuttering game studios. They're sending them out to pasture to die. And I don't know if they get tax write-offs every time they shut down a studio. I'm not sure if they get to write that off as a loss. But like, it's not because of diversity, equity, inclusion in games. That's not what it is. But you've convinced a large populace of people that that's what's true, and the algorithms are pushing that. But that's why they believe you. They just keep saying it. Especially
again when you shotgun so many different things out there in the air, like something is gonna hit, like something somewhere, right? You got, and this is why it was so effective. Look, it was a great scheme that they pulled, right? I'll say this too, right? From the very beginning, real quick history of it all, right? It was just one Reddit person who was like, hey, remember, you ever wondered why games aren't as fun anymore? Like dead ass, basically, is what he said. You ever wonder why games aren't fun as more? It's because of this. Sweet Baby Inc. They're forcing diversity. So boom, you already got two people. You already got the people that's like, damn, games have been kind of weird for me for whatever reason, right? You're older, you ain't got time, you aren't playing what you used to play, etc. You listen to the internet, etc. Those people said, all right, I'm in. The people who just racist and hate diversity, and to begin with, they was like, all right, I'm in, right? And then boom, like Sweet Baby Inc. This is them. That they clip the shit and they put it up there, and then boom, right? These people, right, have thrown out so many things. They got the Black rot, which is a theory from somewhere else, right? That they brought over here too. You got DEI brought over here. You got games aren't as fun anymore, came over here. You got layoffs, it came over here. You know what I'm saying? And then they got some real examples, right, of games that failed, right? And anyone listening to this, which is overwhelming all of media, all of Twitter, everything like that, with no pushback, right? Up until now, with no pushback, someone is going to believe some of it. One of these headlines is going to hit, and that's just what happened.
Right.
The only thing you did is
I would also say too, they don't know that underlying it is racism and misogyny and homophobia, because all they hear is the game is woke, but they don't know what they mean when they're saying that. They're not digging any deeper. And when they do dig into it, that's when they find out what they mean by woke is it has black people. And like, again, the individuals that are just racist, that are just bigoted, they're down for the ride, right?
Yeah.
And then the other people, when they get there, that's usually when they hop off. But that's why it continues to grow. It is one of the most beautiful like pipelines, like in its simplicity. Like it's beautiful the way that they've made this. Like you can cultivate, and once that group of people gets together, because they are a hive mind, they do serious damage to people. They ruin people's lives, reputations. They ruin people's mental health. The doxing, the way that they go after, and nobody wants to stand up to this because they all work in one coordinated like hive mind sort of effort. And so
and it's fun. You know what I'm saying? Like I can imagine if I'm on their side, it's fun, right? I've been young. I've been in groups of just running around, just creating havoc, right?
Chaos,
like just shit that I probably shouldn't have did. You know what I'm saying? Like just being young, running around, walking in the middle of the street, just shit, right? When you're part of a group and you're doing shit, it's just fun, right? So there are some people who probably, I remember this, I always bring this up. League of Legends did a thing. League of Legends is pretty toxic. There's a lot of people that curse, et cetera, et cetera. They brought up this thing where the players would judge the other players. So the players would do something and the other players would say whether or not they should have done it or not, or it's okay. This came from this research that said that people on the internet don't just be mean through anonymity, just because they're unknown. They're mean because they believe that is what the culture of it all is.
I get those comments all the time, bro. Whenever I'm critical of, the toxicity in gaming, those comments pop up forever saying, "Oh, this is what gaming is. You're soft."
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
You're too
Are
soft.
you psychotic? Like, that's not normal, man.
Yep,
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
You're exactly right.
Yes. So they picked out people who like said curse words, etc. And they was like, well, I just did it because like that's what other people be doing. And another example is when that happened and someone found their mother, called their mother, showed their mother the clip, and the mother was very upset and was like, what the fuck? Like, this is actually crazy. There's no way. And like, they heard the whole conversation, them talking to the mom, talking to the kid, and the kid was just like, it was just a thing that we do. Like, it's nothing crazy. Like, I don't, I love black people. They cool, I guess, but like, it's just because it's a part of the internet culture. Yeah. So doing a lot of the stuff, they'll suspend belief just so that they can fit in with the crowd. It just becomes a popular thing now to call things woke and to hate on it and to call it trash and to be annoyed. And
stand from the top of your fucking fake ass intellectual high horse is point out, yo, these guys are grifting.
All right.
I was also gonna say, as far as like those people that fall in the middle, I think what side they tend to lean towards more so depends on the environments they hang out in as well. Like if you look at Twitter, I mean, we know what Twitter is at this point, man. Yeah. Like you've got people like Grums or Asmongold that say certain things, these big accounts that say these things, right? Yeah. I mean, the guy that owns the company posting videos talking about how we need to change gaming and this shit. Like there's very clearly a certain agenda that's pushed from like the top of that platform. Obviously, the crowd that hangs out there is going to lean a certain way. Yeah. When I go over to TikTok, I mean, even just in the past couple of days, I've seen accounts that are people that don't even make gaming content, people that do skits and stuff like that, that are making fun of these gamers that are pissed off about the Game Awards. They're saying, oh, I don't want to play an ugly woman. I see people that aren't even connected to this shit that are like, you guys sound dumb, right? So I really think it's dependent on the crowds that you hang around and like what agendas you allow to be pushed on you based on what platforms you're hanging on,
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
100%. Yeah, and that's exactly why I think these type of conversation stuff need to be had. I get comments sometimes that's like, hey, just ignore them, just blah, 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 just don't give them any attention. And like, that shit don't work, guys. It don't work, all right? They're just going to keep pushing out their narrative. They're going to keep doing, because the people at the top are doing this for money. They're doing this for engagement.
Yeah.
They're doing this for popularity. They're not going to stop. This is them now. This is their life. Like, they're locked in. They're getting checks from it. This is it. This is their job, which means if these grifters, these higher ups, the people with, by higher up, I just mean people with a lot of followers, because they were grifting and playing off of people's fear. If they keep doing it, this information is still going to keep being out there, right? They got quote unquote media outlets now, right? That looks like real articles, but it's really just biased bullshit. All that stuff keeps getting pushed out, and it gets pushed out with no pushback. So it looks like the default. Some of it at some point is going to look legit, and someone's going to just be like, all right, that makes sense, and the pipeline begins. That's why you should follow DQ Roman on TikTok. Make sure you follow The Mindful Gamer on YouTube, and make sure you follow 8-Bit Close Vis on YouTube. And if you're on Twitch, what's up as well? You know what I'm saying? Especially because TikTok might be closing. Go ahead and hit that follow button on Instagram, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But yes, it's a whole thing for tearing these people down, but I think we got to keep our foot on their necks.
It really frustrates me too, because like gaming is so awesome, and like I have introduced so many, like every girl I've ever dated has left me better off because she's left being a gamer. Like I make sure that I introduce it to everyone. Yeah, bro, look.
She left a better woman.
Yeah. Started off with Puzzle Fighter. I'll never forget. We started off playing Puzzle Fighter on Xbox, and I never will forget the day. I mean, we're not together no more, but the day we had the conversation where she said, "Babe, I think I want my own Xbox," and I can't tell y'all.
Wow.
I can't tell y'all. And then when we started playing Call of Duty, and she decided to be a sniper, and she would just sit patiently in the corner, just popping head. You know, like gaming is awesome, and like we'd have better games. We'd have more games if people weren't afraid. Like even online, like the shit that women have to go through online is unnecessary, bro. It makes no sense. And they use that same thing that DQ was talking about, because I once had a social media manager who I didn't realize was part of that alt-right stuff, but I found out real quick when I wanted to make a video about like the conversations that people have in online gaming, and she told me, well, I just let it slide because I need to let them know that I'm cool and that I can handle it. I'm like, no, man, like that's gross. Stop being a pick me. That's disgusting. Like she got fired. Like you cannot do that. Like it's not like that's disgusting. You know, but like it shouldn't be like this. Like, yes, that may have been the culture, but the culture can change. And I know that it can change because me and Ronell are allowed to eat in public restaurants now. You know, like the culture can change. It can change. It really can. But yeah, it frustrates me because and then all gamers get grouped into this group of people. You know, like that's one thing I loved about the Game Awards. It was nice to see like we're normal people that just enjoy video games. But the loudest ones among us are also the most homophobic and racist and bigoted, and it's gross. It's just gross.
Bro, this should have been one of the best moments of the year. Like this Game Awards, and I publicly said I'm not a fan of the Game Awards. I don't care about who wins the Game Awards. This Game Awards was incredible. We got some of the greatest reveals. This is probably the best showcase reveal we've ever seen in gaming, period. Like there were so many good games. This should be nothing but people being excited and happy, and we got to deal with this shit, man. This just puts a massive cloud over the entire thing. It's a shame,
and it will be. And I don't really think they'll stop, giving us good different stories and shit like that. But it's still it's a slight dampener, right? Because what happened was they realized that, all right, not only we need to tell different stories, right? There was a moment we was literally, all right, guys, enough of the military white dude. Enough. Like, dead ass enough. We're not doing this no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. And then, they moved in, CJ from San Andreas did do a good job, you know what I'm saying? What it is, But they was like, okay, they will buy some other shit. You know what I'm saying? Tomb Raider did great. You know what I'm saying? Like, so boom, right? They're opening it up. And with that, we're getting better stories. We're getting different things being told now. Now we can get some different culture, some different shit. And it's going great, right? I don't think they're really gonna pull back from that, because as they were doing that, they were hiring people that can tell those stories better. So right, so now there's people in pretty big positions, you know what I'm saying, that aren't the typical white man gamer, right? They're all over the place, right? It's spread. I've been to Obsidian, right? I've been to Bethesda. I've been to Riot. There's tons of different developers at these places now. It's done. It's over. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to go back for that. Everyone is vocal now. They have options. They can make indie games if they wanted to. They're not going to go back to having to force to make the same typical character every single time. Right. It's done. And even if they was to say right now, all right, we're not going to do it anymore, you're still not going to get those games until for 8 years. You still got a decade that you got to wait. And by then there'll be something else that you care about or fake care about.
This is my concern. I do agree with you to an extent. I think there's certain developers that they don't give a shit about this group, and they never will give a shit about this. Neil Druckmann is never making a game to cater to these folks. I'm gonna just say that right now. Like, he don't care about these people, right?
Literally don't.
There's a lot of developers that it falls into that. Mm-hmm. But I also think there's studios out there that are on the fence about this, and they're kind of just like, we're just trying to make money at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. And some of those studios may be looking at this climate and saying, okay, one group doesn't have a problem with what we're doing. The other group does. If we cater to this group, is the other group going to be fine with that? Because if we can get both groups to be fine with it, then we're cool. And the fact is, you have these people, I'll call them the woke people, who they don't give it. They're not looking at games like, oh, it's pandering them, this bullshit, I'm not buying it. No, they're just looking for good games, right? Mm-hmm. So if the game is good, they're going to buy it. It's this other group that's like, no, we're holding out and we're not going to play this shit. So I think there may be studios out there that are like, okay, let's see what happens if we cater to these guys a little bit. You know, can we still keep the other crowd around?
Yeah.
I think we may start seeing instances of that.
The issue I face with that is that if it was one cohesive and solidarity-driven movement, maybe, right? The issue is that that's not what's happening in reality, right? That's what they're pushing on TikTok. But like you said, Indiana Jones is being played right now by Grumps, right?
It's true.
Like Baldur's Gate 3 has, you know what I'm saying, a black protagonist. You know what I'm saying? These games that are still being successful still have these things. Immortals of Avium had a white male.
That's true. That game was trash. I played like 3 hours. This shit was trash, bro.
I don't even know what that is.
No, bro. Exactly.
No, that's from EA.
Exactly.
They wanted to make a movie and everything, right? Those games are still failing, right? So the higher ups are still seeing these numbers that aren't working together. They aren't making much sense. Silent Hill still did amazing, right? Like remake, even though they was crying about it. Games like Dragon Quest, games like Metaphor, where in the tagline it's diversity is, you know what I'm saying, their strength. In the tagline of the marketing for that game, if it was a solid thing where they literally didn't play anything that didn't have anything but all white people in it, it might. It definitely might. That's
true.
just not what's actually happening.
And what I think also is that other side, like what's going to happen is like we've reached the final stage of it. And I think this is the time for people who are interested in creating content and making content. Because two things I want to say. One thing you never hear from them is they never give recommendations about what games to enjoy. They never tell you what games are fun. I've never seen any of them live streaming themselves, playing video games, playing stuff that they find fun. Like I've never seen that. So that's one. But two, the logical conclusion of this movement, we've reached the infighting stage. It's going to implode from the inside. That you cannot continue to run, because now we're getting to the main boss, which is what they really want in video games. Like we're getting to where people are going to start to see what's really behind all of it, and it just won't be able to sustain itself. And what we're seeing happen with Melanie Mac and like the gooning and the censorship and all of those things, like you're seeing it implode. So I don't think it's going to last. But the thing that sucks though is that again we have those people in the middle. When that other group gets upset, that's when they do the review bombing. That's when they go after people, and they're very loud about it. Like they can come together to spread hate and spread their frustration, and like that might be scary to some publishers specifically, you know. I think that's, you know, I can understand that fear, but I just truly believe they're gonna implode. People are gonna and that's the thing that like really kind of blows my mind about all of it, is that the grifters, the anti-woke ministers, they're just grifting a community. It's so obvious
they
to
also
anybody
don't give a
that
shit.
sees it. They don't care about this at all. If you go look at Smash JT's page, when he first started out, he was playing like a Cuphead, and like he had a completely different disposition than what he has right now. Like, it is just a grift. They're just making you mad, making you angry, and constantly having you upset, and never telling you anything different. And like, they make so much money from it. It's they don't care about this at all. And so I think it's going to implode, and it's going to implode violently. I just don't know when it's going to happen.
And realistically too, right? It wouldn't be game developers or studios, because like I said, a lot of these people in the studio and game developers themselves, right? They're a diverse bunch, right? There's not too many actual races, but I'm sure they exist, but like there's not too many of them like that are fulfilling an entire studio. Realistically, it is the investors that would say, we won't fund this project or change this project, or will withhold money unless you make this character a white male, right? Which is something that has actually happened, right, in real life, right? Especially in movies, etc. Television for sure. But the thing about that is, like I said, all you need is literally one to be successful not doing that, and then it's over, right? They're looking at Fortnite. They're not worried about these little baby games that's like, you know what I'm saying, doing something or not doing something. Fortnite is making $1 bazillion. They have a gay parade, tons of black characters. You know what I'm saying? Like Kamala Harris, fucking, you know what I'm saying, events. They're making $1 billion. They're not fucking worried about what Dustborn did. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't give a shit.
Yo, bro, I think it's so funny that anytime this conversation pops up, these dudes bring up fucking Dustborn. It's like
Dustborn,
that
Concord,
game-
and what's
Suicide
the other
Squad
one?
kills
Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. Yep, there they
their
go.
mindset is Dustborn is some AAA title that, like, if it wasn't this woke shit, that it would have just been the biggest game of the year. Like, brother, games like this pop up 50 times a year that no one's ever heard of and have an average of 20 players. Like, this happens all the time. Why are y'all clinging to this one?
Yeah. They need it. They need that. Yep. And again, it's a good currency. Look,
have y'all heard of this game, Unknown 9?
Yeah, that's their new game. Yeah,
that's the new one. Yeah,
this is another one where, oh, what happened with this? I'm like, you tell me. I didn't hear shit about this game until you brought it up.
And for this one, the game isn't even woke. They just seen that it was one of the Sweet Baby Inc. CEOs that worked on it. So a lot of people that's parroting that, if I ask them what is woke about it, they literally have no clue, because the game isn't anything that's supposed to be woke. It's just because someone else who the grifter said was bad was involved with that game, or at least had their name somewhere on it.
I watched a video on it, someone reviewing the game, and it just looked like a genuinely awful game. Like, it looked so underbaked.
For sure.
And
that's what it was.
I just thought it was funny. Like, oh, another AAA flop. I'm like, I had no idea it existed. Like, it was gonna flop regardless, man.
But it works, right? Because people are repeating those 5 titles, right? Some people, even with Conquer, right? They'll mention Dragon Age, and like, I get it. They'll say the dialogue was forced, blah, blah, blah. I'll say, okay, cool. So if it's forced dialogue, you don't want to hear about it, whatever, all right? Homophobic, you know what I'm saying? But you don't want to hear about it, cool, right? What does that got to do with Conquer, right? And they say, well, it was forced, blah, blah. I was like, what story was forced? What dialogue was forced? Literally none, right? But it's just
they say the pronouns, bro.
Yeah, it was the pronouns. They showed.
So then my question is
100% avoidable.
So if Concord didn't have, like, that part of it didn't exist, right? When you're selecting your character and you can see your pronoun, if that was wiped out, you're telling me the game sells 10 million copies? Like,
absolutely not.
Saying,
absolutely
man?
not. Absolutely not. Yeah, absolutely not. It's the same ones. It's the same thing over and over and over again. And like, you know that they just hope when, and it's to the point where, like, even a new game getting announced. Like, I heard people talking about there was a game that was announced from the guy that did It Takes Two. I forget the game, but it was a trailer for it, and people were saying that that new game,
that, really, that
new,
one,
well, the game
women.
with the two women, that game is woke. That it's
I mean, like, it makes sense, but I didn't even think that, bro. That game looks good.
It looks like so much fun. That looks like a ton of fun.
Be good. Every single one of those games are really fucking good. And also I feel like it makes sense. You know, he started off with 2 dudes, and there was a dude and a woman. He's doing 2 women.
Why is it an issue? He started off with the dudes.
They want to be pandered to, right? That would be called what I would call forced homogeny.
Homogeny,
You gotta be forced homogeny. They wanted to stay the same. You're right.
Split Fiction is the name of the game.
Split Fiction. It looks really good. And with that being said, I want to go through a couple of these games. I know we only got a few more minutes. Let's go through a couple of these games. At least talk about some of the games that we actually like. All right. A little bit of positivity up in this joint. The weirdos, they're going to talk about weirdo stuff. But there's some Game Award games that looked really freaking good. And like you said, DQ, this was a phenomenal year. Okami 2 got announced, which is insane. You're saying Animushu, we got some Virtual Fighter.
Yeah, I was so
right.
That one got me.
What?
That one got me. Yeah.
Witcher 4, of course. New Naughty Dog game. There is some great games. Borderlands 4, which looks pretty good. Now, I will admit, their designs do look kind of bland, I will say. It's not as cool as Borderlands 2, but the game still looks interesting. I'm interested in it. What are some of the games that y'all seen that y'all are interested in from the Game Awards?
What you got, DQ?
So I'll give you two. The first one, I'm really excited for Den of Wolves. Did you guys peep that one? Den of Wolves.
Yes.
So I've had that on my wish list for a while now. If y'all aren't familiar with like who this is made by and stuff, so I think the company is called 10th Chamber.
Mm-hmm.
They are the creators of GTFO, which is another co-op game, and it's one of my favorite co-op games of all time. That game is fire, right?
Interesting.
That studio was created from a group of people that left from the studio that made the original Payday games. So Payday 1 and 2, one of the best co-op games ever. A couple of those guys leave. They make their own studio, make GTFO, another great co-op game. Now they're coming out with another co-op heist game. I'm sold. Like, I'm there. These guys know what they're doing in that space, so I really think that game is going to be fire. And then my second game, oh, yeah, you got the trailer right here.
Yeah. You can still go ahead. You can talk over it.
My second game, it's got to be Fumito Ueda's game, bro. Like, I'm the biggest fanboy of his work.
Who?
Was that Ico? The one
that Team Ico, like those guys.
Yeah.
Not my favorite studio. My favorite studio is Arcane, but they're up there. And I think he's probably the greatest mind in gaming to me. Like he has influenced modern gaming. He's what people think Miyazaki is, right? People like Miyazaki, he changed gaming. It's like, you got to understand, this guy is the reason Miyazaki exists. Facts. Like Miyazaki, he says like, yeah, this is my guy, you know? So I'm really excited to see what he can do in modern gaming, because it's been 10 plus years. I think Last Guardian came out in 2013. It's been a long time.
Project Robot is what it's called.
What's that?
Project Robot is what it's called.
Oh yeah, Project Robot.
Oh yeah, it looked huge too.
I know.
It looked so, the sense
just looks so epic, crazy. Man.
I ain't got no ad blocker.
His ability,
that looks really
his
good.
ability to make just like masterful atmosphere is bar none, man.
And I heard Echo isn't even on PS5. I haven't got it over. They got to get all that up over there. Because this shit looks phenomenal.
Bro, I've watched this trailer like 30 times already. I get goosebumps when he's standing on the shoulder and the music starts to kick in. I'm like, oh my God. I just got like those Shadow of Colossus vibes again. I was feeling good, man.
Yeah. No, this is definitely going to be something spectacular. Borderlands binge bowls dating back to the third game. Jacob and Hammerlock are literally married. 100%. 100%. Derek, what do you got? Any ideas?
So look, I was Obsidian with the Outer Worlds 2, which I haven't beaten the first one, but I did enjoy it. And like, they do so much better with sequels. Like, every time they've done a sequel to something, it's usually been really good. So like, I think that's gonna be good. Look, you know I love fighting games, and like I'm picking up Tekken, even though it's been out. But like, I'll pick it up. I'll get that tonight, so I can go ahead and show you how to play. Someone clip that. But like, I always love jumping on a new fighter, and so like Virtua Fighter, like coming back. And now that I know how to play fighting games, I understand like what we're doing. I understand frame data now. I'm not just mashing buttons. Like, I think it'd be really fun to get into like that 3D kind of into that era. So that one looked really good to me. Honestly, I really am excited about the Heretic. I think that game is going to be really cool. What was it called again? Heretic. Intergalactic. I said it wrong.
Intergalactic,
Yeah, I'm really
the
excited
prophetic,
about
heretic, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, Intergalactic. And like again, it just makes me think about how they say make your own games, make your own things, and we do, and they still have issue with it. You know,
Yeah.
like this is a new franchise. It's something completely different, and so I'm really looking forward to that.
And with that game too, I'm very excited because of what Neil Druckmann was saying. What the story was involved. Again, that whole like, don't put too much faith into certain institutions, including like religion. That's going to be freaking insane.
Listen, man, I like when my games preach to me. I do. I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
I really do.
When they give me
It's
something to
my
think
thing.
about, I like that shit, man.
Detroit Become Human, I always bring it up when we talk about being preached to. That game,
Yeah.
like it really, like it was very blatant and in your face about it. Like I love that. Like I don't understand how they play games. That one, I forgot about it. I was
Dispatch.
excited about Dispatch. Yes,
Dispatch, man.
that
Yeah.
looks like it's gonna
I don't
be
even think
really
I saw it.
good.
It's Telltale like game.
Okay.
You play a superhero dispatcher. It's a comedy. It stars Laura Bailey and
The guy from Breaking Bad.
yes,
I know
Aaron
who you're
Paul. I
talking
think his name
about. Yeah,
is.
that's his name.
Yeah. It has some other great people in there as well. But it's like a little goofy, little fun little thing. But it's like clearly Telltale. I look forward to this game. Looks kind of cool. I am into
But you
it.
know it's woke because he got punched in the face by the girl. They said
Yeah,
that,
and he
right? Did
fell.
you see that? Yeah, and he fell.
Wait, they
It's a
actually said
girl.
that?
Yeah. The people were actually saying that it's woke because he got punched in the face by the girl. It shows the strong. He was emasculated. Actually, you know,
he got
Andy Pants Gaming
emasculated.
loves to do this, but he said, yeah, he got emasculated. This game looks like a lot of fun. You never really
cool.
I've never thought about that, like dispatching superheroes. That's such a sick thought
I love this type of
process,
stuff.
you know?
I would watch a show like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks really interesting to me. You know, another thing about their whole movement too is that they can find a way to say
Anything.
any game that fails, any game that does bad, they could just say they could find something in it, right? It's a really good grift, man. It's a really good grift.
Yeah,
I will
no,
say.
you can make any game woke. Bro, the woke content detector, they make every
Yes.
like games that you would never even think. There's
yes.
no way they can make this woke. They make it
Yes.
happen, bro, somehow.
Yeah.
When I saw them boys say BioShock was woke, I was tapped out. I said, all right, y'all got it. Man.
Yeah. did you not understand?
Y'all got it.
Yeah, you have it.
Yeah. No, this,
Oh, I'm
there's a lot of
glad.
good
I'm
stuff.
glad you brought up Outer Worlds too, because I'm really excited about that too, bro.
Did you
I
beat
know-
the first one? Did you get the first one done?
I never did. I never
Yeah.
did. But I know that the first game it's kind of polarizing fan base. There's people that enjoyed it, and then there's people that are like, it was kind of just whatever to me. I think I lean more towards that. I think it was just like it was fine, you know. But the second one really, I think it was an amazing trailer. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Like that trailer really
Yeah.
sold it for me. It's like I'm hyped for this game because it was kind of like a throwback. It was like a throwback where you have like the stereotypical 90s movie announcer on it with like the witty punchlines. It just felt very nostalgic.
And I like Obsidian. They make games that I like.
I'm gonna be honest. I think I get excited more for Obsidian games than Bethesda games.
Bethesda for sure.
Yeah,
For sure,
I
for
think they
sure.
do it better.
Yeah, 100%. I would like to get excited for Bethesda games, but they go on scope. I think Obsidian cares more so about like the detail, of shit like that.
They're better vibes. They definitely have better vibes in their game.
Yeah, 1000%. I also seen that little soccer game. I ain't gonna lie, I'm probably gonna pick that up. Kind of looked like a little bit of Rocket League. They're playing in an arena, soccer, kind of like FIFA Street almost. I might check that out a little bit. Also, I will say there was this indie game that I'm gonna have to pull up real quick because I do like these little small bite-sized kind of games.
Yeah, I'm so sick of having to. I think DQ, I saw you make a video about this. Like, I'm sick of having to invest 40 hours of my life to
come
beat a
on,
game, bro. Like, I miss sitting down and playing through something in 5 to 8 hours, man. Like, just give me a
Yes.
complete story. Kind of like binging a Netflix series or something like that. You know, like you sit down, you watch your 8 episodes, and you have a great time. But this 40-hour, I need a fucking real life journal to keep track of what the
Right.
hell is going on type
Actually,
shit.
man.
Like, it's way too many of them, man.
And it's fine in moderation. I don't want all of my big budget AAA games to
Yes.
be there. And I
Switch
think
it
that's
up.
one thing I'll give props to Naughty Dog for is they make games that feel very big and epic, but they're not. They're tight and concise. Like their longest games last like 20, 25 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to see more of that in AAA. Like that's fine if you want to blow the budget and spend 200 million. It doesn't have to be 100 hours though, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I really want them to start giving their IPs to indie companies, man. Give me a Jack and Dexter, you know what I'm saying, like game. Like give that to like the people who did the new Prince of Persia, like the roguelike one. But like give me like different stuff like that, man. Like you don't have to spend all your, and it'll help this gaming crisis that we're in, right? Yeah. You can test the water, see if people are still interested in your IP that you haven't touched in years. And you don't have to wait, 10 years for us to show us something. It allows us to kind of stay tapped in for the fandom, right? Remember, we used to get stuff like that. Games
this
used to
game looks sick.
I know it looks so freaking cool. We used to get like Uncharted, but then we get like a PSP version. You know what I'm saying? Like we would get little bite-sized things. Assassin's Creed will release something on PSP. We need something like that. Like it'll help everything.
Or like
else.
Tales of the Borderland. Like give me let me get a narrative version of some of these games, Like I don't have to always be doing action all the time. Yeah.
$100 million
set piece. Yeah. It's not worth it. It really isn't. For sure.
Indie companies feel like they have so much more soul in comparison to most of the AAA stuff.
For sure.
Especially with horror. I agree.
For sure.
I agree.
Sure.
It's not even close. Indie games, they have something to prove. Like that's what it is. It's these people that are saying like nobody knows who we are. We got to make the best game that we can possibly make, and they put so much visionary work into their stuff that it's like they're really laying the blueprint for what games are going to be for the future.
Yeah. And that's usually how it works, right? Like indie almost always is the one that does the thing first, and then someone else says, "All right, let's take this idea and do it bigger and do it better," right?
100%.
Not only do they have something to prove, but they have the freedom to prove it, right? They don't have to. Publishers are really the enemy, guys. Like I really try and preach this, but I don't want to go too far into it. I don't think they're ready for it. But like, publishers are the enemy. They're the ones that force the timelines. They're the ones that hold the money back to remove or add certain aspects of games. They're the ones that worry about the monetization of the game, how they're going to get their money back, the long-term investment. They're the ones that worry about all that stupid shit. These developers don't be trying to do all that. So anytime a game can work out of that or they break free of that, I know there's a lot of Destiny 2 haters, but like the moment they broke away from that and was able to kind of do their own thing, they still had to make money, but it became a much better game. They wasn't like, they was forced into that. Baldur's Gate 3, obviously, no publisher, able to self-fund. Obviously, they had IP so that people invested into the early access. That gave them a good amount of money that they can put into the game as they built it for getting player feedback like in real time as they were building the game. But the goddamn publishers are the worst thing. And Swin's speech at the end of the awards was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Love
that
it.
speech was good. Because again, as much as I love Jeff, I really appreciated the Game Awards. It turned me around watching the Game Awards. Like just for that time watching it with my community, it really turned me around. At the same time, Jeff does not want to bite the hand that feeds him. He never comes out and like says the shit that needs to be said about the publisher. He played lip service to it. I'm glad that they created that new award, but I need to go research it for myself. But it seems like that person was on a team, something like that. I heard was something a little bit fishy. He works for Tencent, so something about that was really fishy.
Wait, what awards are you talking about?
The Game Awards.
Game Awards. They gave a Game Changer award to one guy who like really helped out people, and they told this really nice story. Yeah. Made it feel like he was kind of just like a guy.
Wait, you saying he's an industry player?
He works for Tencent.
He works for Tencent. Yeah.
Now, before you go, like quickly about that though, like. I need to look more into it as well.
Yeah,
I think I got the gist for real, and I think he did a good thing.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And I don't know if disqualifying, and I don't want to even go super far into it because it's a whole thing, right? But like, I don't know if disqualifying him just for simply working for somewhere that's a big company is bad, especially when his job isn't to fire people. If his job was to fire people and he did that, I'd be like, all right, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is weird. And I can also still say that the Game Awards playing it like it was just some random guy. Because I did literally leave thinking that was just a random guy who wanted to do something about it.
Yeah.
And he's not a random guy.
Yeah, but what I was saying is like they don't, that they don't want to bite the hand that feeds them. So whenever he came up at the end and gave that speech and like literally called everybody out without calling them out, I thought that was really really cool, because that's the thing that blows my mind. You can tell the people making these decisions about games aren't gamers. What gamer is going to say, yeah, I want loot boxes in my game? What gamer? Even DQ made this point when we were talking about microtransactions. So many of the things in games that people are paying for now, it used to be you got this with a sense of accomplishment. You got this because you worked hard. Here's something. And like once they realize that they can monetize and sell that, like what gamer wanted to do that? I think about, there's a lot of things. I'll never forget whenever I got it was in Halo Reach, and it was the Hayabusa armor from Master Chief. You had to go through and do, I forget, a bunch of stuff online to be able to get it. But when you got it, you knew that the person wearing that armor, they and now you can just pay for it, like but the people making those decisions are not gamers. They're just not. And if these gaming companies would just shut up, let the creative people be creative, the money will come. Like they won't, the money will come. It'll come. Just let them make good games and it'll come. So but yeah, I think we're going to see in the future, I think we're going to start going more towards the way of layering studios, where we're going to have, one, if we can get people's attention away from AAA games, and I got to do a better job of this and put people's minds on indie games, I think that will help. And I think what we're going to start to see is that gamers and game developers are going to co-create games together. I really think that's the change for the future, where we're going to be hand in hand in the development process, and not like the way that early access is right now. I think it's going to change. Like that has just become adopted by the system, and you pay for a game that's not released. Like that's not even working the way it's supposed to. But I think that we're going to start to see more like having direct,
player feedback.
Whatever the word, direct player feedback. Yeah,
it's funny you mention that, because just this past week I was thinking about that idea. If there would ever be a studio that would be willing to come out and from the beginning to the end, it's a game that's made by the gamers. It's just straight up like, okay, what do you guys want? This is the style of game. How do you want these characters written? What is this set? Everything is decided by the gamers. I'm curious if someone would be willing to do that, and what that end product would actually look like, if it would even be good.
Yeah. I would love to see what that would look like. Right?
For sure.
I personally don't know if it would be good, but it would depend on who.
Yeah, I don't either.
Right. But it would depend on like who they're getting, right? I remember I was talking to one of the developers for one of the Tower of Asgard, one of these games that are on Game Pass. I should find the name of it. But they were talking about how that is kind of one of their goals for the game. Obviously, they didn't do it from scratch with getting player feedback, but their goal is like direct player feedback. And they created a system, at least that's what they were saying. They created a system where they can incorporate said player feedback a lot quicker than any other game can. It's just the way it is. And it's a simpler game, so it shouldn't be too hard. But that's their entire goal, is exactly what you just mentioned. And one of the things that they mentioned was that, because it was an Xbox game, but they said the early access was on Steam early access. And they said the reason they put it on Steam early access is because if someone sees early access on Game Pass, they're going to assume that that game is ready. They won't get the feedback that they want. Whereas they put it on Steam and they say that is early access, those players provide real feedback. They're more likely to see the game as a work in progress and therefore give advice and tips on how to fix it. So it's going to depend on like who the gamer is, how it's marketed, and like that group of people that's giving that feedback. That's really going to make that determining factor. But
and
I
are
think
gamers even patient enough to wait? Are they even patient enough to wait for the game to be completed? Like I can see that being a huge problem. Like it takes time to develop games, and I just don't know if you're going to be able to have them along for the full 3-4 year development process that it takes to make the game. Is what I think.
Yeah, and again, it's going to depend on how you're presenting stuff to them. Because even with like a Skate, right, or even a Grand Theft Auto, like there will be a point where they just lose momentum, right? Especially if they ain't playing it yet, right? They have to at the very least be playing it. But something like a Baldur's Gate 3, they was in early access for damn near 3 years or something like that. Yeah. But people were willing to buy into that because one, they knew Larian Studios. Two, Baldur's Gate is a sequel to a franchise, and then they have Dungeons and Dragons. So there was 3 things that said, all right, I'm familiar and I could put my money into this. I don't know if anybody else could really do that. But anyway, let's get a few final thoughts up in here. You know what I'm saying? Let's come to an end, come to a close here.
Also, please ask us what games we've been playing too.
I got to. And with that being said, what games have you been playing over there, Derek? You know what I'm saying? Let me know.
Bruh. All right. This is a safe place, right?
This is a.
Oh, brother, what we about to hear?
I don't know if it's a safe place, to be honest with you. Actually,
Bro,
no, it's not a safe place.
I'm sorry. Infinity Nikki is fire, bro.
Hey,
Bruh.
that's okay.
Infinity Nikki is fire.
Okay.
I really, bro. Okay, hang on. It's so good. Like,
okay.
She got movement. Bro. Okay. I don't know how to sell you if you not, because again, in video games, I usually play all female characters, and sometimes it's just nice to have a nice outfit and stuff, and the dresses in that bitch are fire. You can have more than white skin tones. The music is great. You got a nice bias. It's Infinity Nikki is fire. You just gotta play it, bro. Like, just don't.
And you give me like a premise of what's going on in this game.
You need to collect all the magical dresses so that you.
Oh,
So I'm gonna be honest with you.
please be.
First off, we listen and we don't judge, okay? I remember seeing this game announced, I think last year at the Summer Game Fest, and they announced it as like a big open world cozy game, right? My immediate reaction was actually, that's kind of cool. I like that idea, all right? I'm with you. Bro. It is actually, I'm going to declare that it is a safe space. That is fine. I am actually all for it. I love the idea of this game. Will I play it? No. I love the idea for this game, though. I love it. I think it's ambitious. I think it's open. I genuinely love the idea. I thought about doing a video on this game.
I'm getting mine together right now. You collect stars.
What's going
like
on,
the
man?
movement is so good, bro. Like,
Look,
and then when you're purifying, like she got a dash in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, this really some high level type shit.
The only reason why I didn't make a video for this game yet was because I was unsure if you can make Nikki black.
You can.
Yeah, I did get confirmation that you can. I'm not touching this game, but I recommended it for to 3 of my homegirls. 2 of them is playing it. They're having a good time.
Bro.
You know what I'm saying? I love the idea of just a cozy game that's open world. I just like the ambitiousness of it. I love that they're trying something new. I like that they're delivering for a community. Why not have a big open world cozy game? I think they should have a competitive cozy game. How could that work? I don't know.
But
why not try it?
Who can chill out the hardest, bro? Who's vibing the hardest right now? I'm relaxed as fuck right now. I'm even more relaxed, bro. I mean, look, you just have to play it. Give it a chance. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not going to give it a chance, but I do. I don't hate you for it. I will say that.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
I don't hate you for it, man.
Yeah, all right. That's what I've been on.
I mean,
Infinity Nikki lately, bro. I really have.
I don't hate anybody, and I don't hate anybody for their video games that they play. But
yeah.
You just gotta
I'm
try
listening.
It out.
I
Tough one to
definitely
swallow.
judge.
I get you.
I definitely judge. I'm gonna be honest with you.
All right, I got some Infinity Nikki content coming up real soon. I do. I got you. I got you. After this, I'm gonna record some 4K 60 FPS of Infinity Nikki. Yeah, lock in. I'm gonna show you. Huh?
You been on PoE? Runner?
I've been on PE. Yeah.
I haven't got to it yet. I don't want to get to it yet because this game's gonna fuck up my life, bro. Like
Stark
too much
opposite
going
difference. Yeah, this is a complete opposite of Infinite Nikki. This is infinite destruction. No, yeah, I've been on this. I ain't go. Yeah, it's a fun game. I was playing Diablo. Obviously, I'm a fan of Diablo. I even like Diablo 4. The issue for me was just they didn't have enough content. They did release content with this new update, and Diablo 4 right now is really fun. So I go into Path of Exile 2, comparing it to Diablo 4, Hatred, Festival of Hatred, and Path of Exile 2 is really fun. The fucking animations are cool. The design is cool, and so far I've already reached some aspects of it that I wish Diablo 4 had. It still has some bugs that piss me off. It's definitely still buggy. It definitely doesn't have the quality of life that I wish that Diablo 4 has. But I'm leveling it up. It's fun. That's kind of what I've been playing. That and a little bit of Marvel Rivals.
Did you play the first Path of Exile?
I played it a little bit, and then I found out that you can't respect, and then I deleted that shit immediately.
Okay, so you wouldn't really say that you're familiar with the game like that.
Nah.
All right, because I really am curious.
Real
like,
quick,
people...
I'm sorry, Derek.
No,
this is the skill tree.
Damn.
Do
you make your own character? Do you create your own character?
Actually, no, which is stupid too. But you can pick classes or whatever, but you can't customize your own character. And then imagine this with no respect. So you put a point somewhere. You can't. You're right. If Infinity takes the W there.
But my outfits are so fire, bro.
No, the drip on this is terrible. But DQ, what were you saying?
I was just curious, like people that play PoE. I'm trying to get their gauge on how they feel about too, because to me, PoE is the best ARPG ever made. Like I love Diablo and what it's done. Diablo 2 is one of my favorite games ever. Path of Exile is just like, it does everything that all the other games do, but better and more. And I'm just trying to get a feel for how 2 gauges to that. Yeah. I was super excited for it. Like it's one of my most anticipated games. I know it's in early access right now, but yeah, I can't touch this game until I got nothing going on in my life, because it's gonna take up too much time, bro.
What you playing right now?
So continuing off of that, how I don't really have a ton of time to be invested in games. I like games right now where it's like, an hour, 2 hours, and I can get fulfillment, right? I can't really be playing stuff right now where it's like, yeah, I need to put 8 hours in on a session, So I've been playing a lot of just like real simplistic stuff. I've been playing through, I don't know if y'all ever heard of Ultra Kill. It's like one of those movement shooters.
I think I've seen, you got that movement video games down. Man, for real.
So, this is like one of as far as the movement shooters go, everyone holds this one in high regard, and I've been playing through it recently. It's cool, but I just made a video on it today. Actually, I've been messing with VR recently, and I'm loving it, bro. VR.
What you playing? Fun. Have you played VR chat yet?
Nah, I haven't hopped in VR chat. I don't know if I'm ever going to be honest.
Look, you gotta hop in one time. You got look. Man, Roman, when I first hopped into VR chat, all right, I did the first thing I did was like It Takes Two, where you just go into it's not It Takes Two, it's 2 minutes something, anyway, it puts you in a room and you get randomly connected with another person and you talk for 2 minutes, and if you enjoy talking to each other, you can press the button and talk for longer, and you go through that about 4 or 5 different times, and then at the end of it, it puts everybody into a room together and you can go and talk to all the people that you discuss. And of course, the Riz I had was strong. I have videos. I don't know if I want to necessarily show it, but like, because you do need to make sure people over 18, that's the first thing you got to check that. But then after that though, but bro, I had some cool ass I went to a fucking nightclub in that bitch, and they had like bouncers at the door where you had to give your age and shit before you went in, and then when you go in, like, it's just cool as fuck. Like, people sitting down, chatting at tables. There's a dance floor. At one nightclub, I met up with a group of people from like Australia. They took me back to their fucking mansion and shit. And like, they're playing real music. Like, there's a playlist. You can add your own music from the playlist. People sitting, chilling in couches, cuddling and shit. Talk like, the shit was fire, man. Like, you got to try that shit just one time.
It's
like,
kind of cool to
just
go
one
into,
time. It's fucking badass, bro.
I might get around to it. For the one-time experience, we might have to
man,
see what's
get
going
you a
on
good
there.
avatar, bro. I saw all sorts of people in that bitch. Like, the avatars that people have are insane.
Characters,
man.
made up
characters,
real characters.
It's like infinite possibilities, right?
Insane, man. I saw a Cartman that was just Cartman on a CD case, and like, it was 2D. and shit.
Yes.
Goku was in there, like,
Yes.
and then I got in one room. I actually got kicked out of a server. I was hanging out, and like all of a sudden, I got transported to this place, and the guy's character was like this god eldritch like angel things, wheels within wheels, and like it's VR, so it took up the entirety of the screen. Like you look up and like you just see God. It's in. He's like, "Have you registered to be in this server?" I was like, "No," and dude kicked me out of it. Like this shit was crazy, man. It was crazy. This shit was crazy. There was a McDonald's I went to and shit. Like it was so much fun, bro. It's so much fun.
That's wild, man.
That's good.
I've been playing this VR game. It's called Asgard's Wrath 2.
Oh, yeah.
It's an
Yeah.
RPG, and
That was really good,
Oh,
actually.
shit.
it's crazy, bro. Like this has been my favorite VR experience so far. It's such a wild
Really?
experience. I think it was up for VR Game of the Year at the Game of the Year Awards. I think it lost to Batman,
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure it was nominated.
This
Which
was
I played,
trash.
I played the Batman game too, and that game's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm
it,
loving
it gave me a
VR,
little
man.
bit of headache when I was playing.
Half-Life Alyx, if you have a chance to. Again, that's a long ass game, but I played Half-Life Alyx on VR.
Yeah.
That shit was fire. Yeah,
I got that on the list for sure.
that shit was fire.
Wait, so you guys both play VR? What do you
I
have?
have a
The
headset.
Meta?
I have that. No, I have a mixed reality headset. It's not great, but it does the job.
I don't have one at all. I just played all of them. Beat Saber is my favorite one, or Super Hot.
Yeah.
Super Hot's dope.
VR was pretty good too. The first VR game I ever played was Resident Evil 7. I played through the entirety of it in VR, and that shit changed my life, bro. It's still the best gaming experience I've ever had. Like I was too afraid to play at some points, but like once I got through it, and then I had a little Mary Jane with it as well. And when I tell you, man, like just transported, like it was terrifying, but it was one of the best gaming experiences in the world. Like that made buying a PlayStation 4 Pro and a PSVR worth it. That one experience, bro. It was crazy. It was so good. It was good. It was really good, man. Like I can't explain it. Like it was so good. Everything else is pretty trash.
Horror games in VR, it just feels so real. Like I could be playing a VR game that's not horror, and like you feel like you're a part of it, but something about the horror aspects, it just feels like it's in front of your face, and it's fucking terrifying, bro.
Yes.
As someone who's like already kind of scared of horror stuff, I really can't be messing with horror VR games like that.
Yeah, it'll fuck you up. Like it will.
I believe it. I believe it.
It will. I had to close I was closing my eyes and shit, and like it just everything about it was terrifying. But like you wanted to get through it, man. It was so good.
Speaking of so good, make sure you guys tap into our so good YouTube channels, social media, etc. Make sure you follow us. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you follow us on Instagram, TikTok, all that fun stuff. I am A Big Close Fist. We have the Mindful Gamer. We have DQ Roman. Go ahead, hit a follow. We try and do these discussions every single Sunday where we talk about fun video game stuff, man. Some annoying video game stuff, but we just try and keep it true. You know what I'm saying? Keep it real out here. And try and break through some of the nonsense. DQ Roman, do you got anything you want to say? Any final thoughts?
Not much, man. I'm excited for this forthcoming year of gaming, to be honest with you. We got a lot of cool stuff to look forward to, and there's some BS going on. There's always going to be something going on, but just try to get people excited for games, man.
Facts.
Everyone's got stuff to look forward to for sure.
Some good shit, man. And the world is crazy. Play some games. Derek, what's up, man?
Hey, look, I'm on the same page with DQ. To be honest with you, with me though, like I'm finna go back in my backlog and I'm finna play some games that I didn't get a chance to get through. The Outer Worlds, let's get through it. You know, there's some games in the past that like I've never played through an entirety of any of the Assassin's Creed games. I think I beat BioShock once. I didn't get through Infinity. Like I think for me, I'm gonna go back. And then once I get done with them, if I have enough time, that's the fear of missing out for me. It's like there's so many games that like I'm just not gonna be able to get through. I'm just not gonna be able to get through them. So I'm really, really excited to go back in the past. And yeah, I would just say, there's a game out there for you. Free yourself from this bind of being in the AAA space. There are indie games out there. You just gotta look. You just have to go look. But they're there. They're there, and they're innovative, and they have new things in them that you never. Yesterday I played a music rhythm tower defense game, bro. Like it was insane.
Oh, that sounds kind of cool though. What's the name of that?
Oh god, I have it on my desktop.
It,
I'll hit you up. I'll find it for you.
Me.
It's fucking dope, bro. Like it's dope.
Yeah.
Like the gaming. There's just too many games. It's too easy. It's the easiest, most accessible, hobby to have. Game Pass, $10 a month. You got a library for decades that you'll never get through.
Right.
So yeah,
what is your gaming church getting into?
Man, today I just got through doing a sermon for the gaming church on people that feel lost. We got some good stuff. We are gonna start. I guess it's not really too much of a secret, but we're gonna do some things to help combat some of this review bombing and negativity that all these developers get. We're gonna show what happens when you get people together with a good heart and sending out encouragement. So that'll be coming up really soon. It's time to change some of this a little bit.
Gaming church. I don't think I'm hip. What's that?
What is the gaming church?
Oh, you ever heard about the Church of New Game Plus?
I think I'm slacking, bro.
Oh man, the Church of New Game Plus is a gaming church that I started in response to the new regime coming in America and how they're coming after our video games. So we have a lot of lore, we have a lot of beliefs, but the main belief that we have is infinite choice. You can decide how you want to see the world. The world is your video game. Play it the way that you want. And we use video games as a way for us to find deeper truths and meaning in life. And there's a lot of different games to choose. You choose the game that speaks to you the most. And every Sunday, I give a sermon based on some game to help get you through to the next week. So, GG's.
You a pastor, my boy? That's tough. I might have to.
We got 704 members on the Discord right now. We're pretty strong. We're playing Marvel Rivals. Like it's really great. So yeah, we're gonna be incorporated fully as a church in February, and we're gonna make some moves. We're gonna do some things. So
that's fire.
Yeah, that
dope, is man. Fire. You heard that, guys. Tap in for the New Game Church. If you need to, he can send the link into the comments. If you are interested, if you like what you hear, you can drop that Discord link into the comments. I'm A Big Close Fist, you know what I'm saying? I'm on TikTok, but I'm also on Instagram, YouTube. I'm sending some more videos. A lot more video essays are coming to YouTube. I want to make one where I could really talk about my thoughts on Intergalactic, what I want to see from the game, what grievances I may have, concerns, and what I think can make that game really fun and interesting. Also be on the lookout for my show. I am still editing up. I'm working on the second episode now. We're going to drop some bombs for you guys for Checkpoint the Show. We're going to do another episode on reviews and which ones you can trust. It's a whole thing. It's a live show, kind of like Attack of the Show, G4 type vibes. I have an amazing host who honestly looks like Tatiana Gabriel. She's pretty dope. So look out for that. You know what I'm saying? Checkpoint the Show. Check me out on YouTube, A Big Close Fist. Thank you guys so much for coming through. You stuck around. You hung out. Stinker Poo, the May Mayhem, Corey, the Geek of all trades, Sarah's. All of you came through. I appreciate that. We're going to head up out of here and go play some games, have fun. Enter that link if it's in the Discord. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and follow. But yeah, we out here. It's been real. Thank you, DQ, for coming through.
Appreciate y'all for having me, man. It's been a pleasure.
You know what I'm saying? We'll see you all Sunday. It's been real. Deuces.